Series 3 has now arrived, and it's at this point the Sarah Jane Adventures has taken its style of filming, story, adventure, and music. Plus, it's at this point we now have a 1-minute intro before every episode. It's basically the Series 2 trailer of Clyde talking to the audience about Bannerman Road, but with some clips of the ongoing series. Honestly, I like that. It's a neat idea to let the audiences, especially newcomers, know exactly what they're dealing with. In my opinion, Series 3 and 4 are actually when the show actually gets really good. Even their teaser trailer was pretty cool. Now onto the series opener. Now, when I started this marathon, Prisoner of the Judoon was one of the episodes I was the least looking forward to sitting through. Okay, well, not the worst, but we'll get to that later. I actually managed to know exactly what the plot was from the TV Week magazine whilst I was at high school, and from the sound of it, I was excited, but a little bit concerned about it. Sarah Jane again have come across the Judoon ship crashing onto Earth, which has apparently lost its prisoner. This, of course, is Androfax, the Destroyer of Worlds, a shapeshifter which takes over Sarah Jane's body as a disguise, so it's up to the gang with the help of a stubborn Judoon captain to stop him, or her thing, whatever. Now, one of the main aspects that makes this episode stand out is the thing that I hate about most TV shows, when the main character is taken over by a main villain and everyone has to be careful whether or not to trust that person. In this case, it's Sarah Jane who is possessed by the main villain. Not to say it was bad, I mean, the saving grace of that is Elizabeth Sladen's performance, which is actually a nice throwback to when she was possessed by the spiders and Eldrad in the classic series. However, I have to be honest, there are some moments in which I can tell when she is overacting, but it's a kids show, so I won't give it that much trouble. Androfax is one of the coolest characters in the show. Simple basic lizard design in a black suit, but the performance of both the actor and Elizabeth Sladen make Androfax stand out more than other generic aliens. The reason why he is destroying the world is understandable, that destruction is what he believes is the way of the universe. And he is a cool shapeshifter, his hissing and his voice was chilling to listen to. But I will say that the bit with Androfax making one of those "you will be destroyed by someone even more powerful" was completely unnecessary. Even if the show did manage to complete Series 5, I don't think we needed that scene. This is probably the first and only time we get Nicholas Briggs to appear in the show. He's well known for voicing the Daleks in Cyberman and of course the Judoon in Doctor Who. And as always, he does a good job in the episode. Again, it's nice to see a creature or character from the Doctor Who series to appear in the show. Like this Levine, the Judoon actually kind of fits in the Sarah Jane Adventures. But I think they might have made the Judoon in this episode a little too comedic. When I saw them in Smiths and Jones, even though they were policemen, I believed them to be someone you don't want to mess with. Here, they're just portrayed as stubborn buffoons. While I do admire that they are respecting the rules of other species like a proper everyday policeman, that's actually a neat idea. But when it comes to having to stop a threat, it does slow the story down a little. However, a Judoon riding a police car telling a punk kid to turn off his loud music is hilarious. The nanoforms are actually the neatest creatures in the episode. Tiny but mighty little robots. I actually feared for the kids with them more than with Androfax. I guess one of the main saving graces of this episode is the subplot with Gita and Haresh. I guess you could argue that those scenes do drag a little, but actually, for a basic generic story, it's actually nice for there to be an unusual funny subplot to keep us entertained. We do get them getting close to the existence of aliens, but it doesn't get as close to the discovery of Sarah Jane and the others saving the world. One of the things I like is how they did the Next Time trailer for part 2, like how the BBC did The Sound of Drums or Poison Sky. They tease us, but they don't spoil anything. Now you're probably guessing by now that I don't like this episode. Well, no, I mean, I do hate the generic synopsis, but there are some parts of the execution which are actually pretty cool to watch. The Judoon are cool, Evil Sarah Jane is cool, the music is cool, the effects and designs are cool. But this is pretty much an average main character gets possessed story, which I'm not a fan of. It's a nice throwback to how the show acts as a family show, which is what it's all about. And I guess that's what this episode is trying to say. No matter how high the stakes are, the Smith family, meaning Sarah Jane, Luke, Clyde, Ronnie and the others, will manage to get back together. It is a good start to Series 3, but I don't think it's the best or the worst series opener, but I would say it's somewhere in the middle. Be sure to check it out and see for yourself.